Back in 1979, Reverend Cleveland and Albertina Walker came up with a song that we still sing today. It says, please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. Please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. When God gets through with me, when God gets through with me, I shall come forth. I shall come forth as pure gold. With that being the meaning of the song, may I use a subject this morning, the Midas Touch. The Midas Touch. Greek mythology tells us that King Midas was granted a wish. The wish was that anything he touched would turn to gold. And it was then that they came up with the common name, the Midas Touch. May I suggest, as I'm going to break this text down, but may I suggest real quick for my first point that Jesus has the Midas Touch. May I suggest that he illustrates it through the song, because they said when he gets through with me, I shall come forth as pure gold. So when Jesus gets done working in me, on me, and through me, when Jesus gets through getting all my impurities out of me, when Jesus gets through working on my attitude and my character, then I shall come forth as pure gold. He has the Midas Touch. Notice he's going to work in me, on me, and through me. Then he's going to get all the impurities. Some of us ain't as clean as we think we are. But he's going to get all the impurities out of me. And then as he's getting the impurities out of me, he's going to work on my attitude and my character. Because my attitude determines my character. Bad attitude, bad character. So after he gets through doing all of that, then I'm going to come forth as pure gold, because Jesus has the Midas Touch. But some of you are asking the question, well, Pastor, what does that have to do with Palm Sunday? And what that got to do with the text you read? Well, I'm so glad you asked me, because when we look at the text, it says Jesus rode into the city on a donkey. If you read some of the other versions or some of the other gospels, it says a donkey. Matthew uses a term I'm not going to use this morning, but you can read it. So he came in on a donkey. He did that because in Zechariah 9:9, it was prophesied that he was going to do that. But when I begin to look at the text, because this morning, I know, help me, I know it's traditional to talk about him entered into the city, but if you ain't learned nothing about your pastor, I ain't usually traditional with a whole lot of stuff. So I don't want to talk about the city today. I want to talk about the donkey. Oh, I ain't getting no help out there. I want to talk about the donkey today. Because the scripture prophesies that he's going to come in the city riding on a donkey, but it didn't say what kind of donkey. The scripture I read says this donkey that he chose, no man had ridden on him. When you do research, you find that it means this donkey was not trained. It was not trained in knowing how to move, how to have somebody ride on him. Why would Jesus choose a donkey that's not trained? Because even a donkey that's trained act crazy sometimes. But he chooses one that has not been trained. Nobody has sat on him. What is he going to do when Jesus get on him? What's going to happen? He chooses a donkey that has not been trained. But I realize that Jesus doesn't do anything just for doing it. He is always intentional. And I propose that he chose this donkey to give us a message. Because this is my second point. I'm 1/3 through right now. I think he chose this to give us a message, because Jesus said, I'm going to take a donkey that's not trained. Never been in a parade. Never had a man ride on him. I don't know how he's going to act, but I'm going to take something and use it for my glory. So my second point is God can use anything for his glory. He can take a donkey, I contemporize it and modernize it. He can take a donkey that's never been in church, don't know nothing about church, never been trained about church, never been trained about anything, and take him and use him for his glory. The donkey became his limousine when he went into the city. An unproven donkey. Let's check the text. An unproven donkey. Jesus doesn't know what the donkey's going to do when he sits on it. Because Jesus got the Midas touch, the donkey looked at Jesus and Jesus looked at the donkey. You're going to do what I tell you to do. Y'all see, you got to see. Because see, I realized back in the Old Testament, God let a donkey talk. And I believe if this donkey could talk, he'd be like, you going to jump on me? Do you know who I am? Do you know where I've been? Do you know ain't nobody rolled on me? And Jesus looking at him and said, I'm going to ride you today. I got the Midas touch. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care how hard you think you are. I don't care how bad you think you are. This day, the Midas touch. Oh, God. I propose to you that some of you are just like the donkey. You're unproven. You think you got it going on. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know who I am. Don't mess with me. And Jesus said, I dare to mess with you this morning. I dare to tell you I got the touch that would change your life. I got the Midas touch. He touched a donkey that didn't know anything about being civil in a parade and made him the prime attraction of the parade. You mean that Jesus can take your life that's so jacked up, that's so messed up, and make it the premiere of his glory? You mean Jesus can take you after you've been through everything you've been through? Did some things you don't want to tell nobody about in church. Been some places you don't want to take us to. And God can still use you. You mean he can take you as unchurched as you are, and you street, hardcore street, and use you for his glory? But let me flip it. You mean he can take you with all your education, but you don't think you need anything from God? He can take you with your BA degree and your master's and your doctorate and still use him for your glory? He can take your education and flip it and show you where he can use it for your glory? Jesus, I got the Midas touch, because I'll take you from the ghetto to the White House. I don't care where you've been at. I'll use you for my glory. Jesus was trying to tell us something by using a donkey. He could have chose any donkey, but he chose one that had never been touched. And when you research it, means he's never been trained. I think sometimes God likes using people who ain't been trained, because it's not difficult to have them do his will. All of us have been in church a long time are hard-headed. I ain't getting no amens off that one. That wasn't one of my points anyway. I think all of us have been in church are hard-headed because we're so used to doing it the way we think it's supposed to be done. Pastor, they don't do it that way. You're right. We don't do it like that no more. God wants to change you, because what I've learned about God is when he used me for his glory, sometimes he changes me. How he used me last year may not be how he uses me this year. And how he used me this year may not be how he used me next year. He changes me. And anybody who can't change with God can't be used for his glory. When I propose to you in church, you should be like Jello. Pastor, what you talking about like Jello? In the way God shake you, you supposed to move with it. You get Jello, you shake it, it'll go in the way God shake you. Did you see Sister Natasha? She said when Jesus here shaking like in the way God shake you, that's where you need to be shaking. If he shake you this way, you move with it. Here I go, God, in the way you want to shake me. Because Jello don't tell you stop shaking me. Jello don't say I don't like to be shaked like that. Jello say if you shake me, I'll move. And God wants to know, if I shake you, will you move? Or would you stay stiff? When God shake you, would you move the way he tells you to move? I said, I can use anything for my glory. I want to hit this third point. I think I'll be out. I want to hit this third point because when I look at the text tells me there's no prerequisites to be used by Jesus. You just got to be willing. You got a job description that tells you you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to have this before you get hired. You got some schools that tell you if you don't have a 3.0 and you don't have this, you can't get in. You got people when y'all used to go to the club, and hopefully you don't go no more, but when you used to go to the club, the dress code said that you can't have certain things on or you can't come in. But with Jesus, he says, there's no prerequisite with me. There's no prerequisite. All you got to do is be willing to be used. You can have a degree or you don't have to have one. You can be in church all your life or you can never be in church one day of your life. It doesn't matter. I take you from all spectrums. I just want to use you. He doesn't require you to learn church protocol, church etiquette, get a degree in Bible study. He doesn't require all that. He says just be willing. The donkey didn't have no formal training. The donkey didn't know if you clicked your heel to the side, he's supposed to turn to the right or turn to the left. The donkey didn't know all that. He was untrained. But God, Jesus said, I'll use him because there's no prerequisite to be used by me. Just be willing. I got to ask somebody the question today. If he's using the donkey, what's wrong with you? Oh, God. If he's using the donkey, what's wrong with you? If he's doing what he wants to do in the life of the donkey, why won't you let him do what he wants to do in your life? How many times you got to keep knocking on the door before you answer it? How many times you got to keep opening doors for you and making ways for you? When's the last time you got out of something you know you weren't supposed to get out and you know was God? How many doors did he have to open? How many things he got to get you out of before you say, yes, Lord? Well, how much stuff he got to let you fall into and then get you out of to let you know who he is? Sometimes, and I don't take this personal, but it sounds like the donkey had more sense than some of us. Oh, Jesus, I'm preaching better than they say amen right now, but that's okay. Because the donkey didn't kick against Jesus. The donkey didn't throw Jesus off his back. The donkey just did whatever Jesus told him to do. When the last time you did what Jesus told you to do? I'm going to go a little deeper. When the last time you did what Jesus told you to do without talking back? That's what y'all today. Good God. What's the last time? What's the last time you did what God told you to do and ain't make no excuses about it? Well, Lord, you know, I would take them some food, but you know, I don't got a whole lot of food in my house. I would give them a ride, Lord, but you know, I don't got a whole lot of gas in my car right now. If I give them a ride, but I remember the widow woman that had just enough flour to make just the bread for herself, and she made it for the prophet, and every time she went, it never ran out. When the last time you've been, oh God, Lord, you want me to drop this on them? Yes, sir. When the last time you've been as obedient as a donkey? Donkey didn't kick up. He didn't say a word. His nature, catch this, y'all, his nature was to buck. Study a donkey. His nature was to buck, and no man had ridden on her, but when Jesus touched him, he calmed, right? When Jesus touched him, he said, I'm not going to buck in this. When Jesus touched him, he said, this is a peace I never had before. When Jesus touched him, he can ride me anytime. When Jesus touched him. Why? Because Jesus has the Midas touch. I'll close. Can I close with this? I had to go and pull up Billy Davis Jr. and Marilyn McCool. I had to go pull them up. Because they wrote this song, and it said, you come as you are with just your heart, and I'll take you in. You rejecting and hurt. To me, you're worth what you have within. I don't need no superstar, because I accept you as you are. You won't be denied, because I'm satisfied with the love that you inspire. You don't have to be a star, baby, to be in my show. I read those words and God got to talking to me. You don't got to be denied. You don't got to have something inside that nobody else wants. You don't got to be a star to be in my show. Come as you are with just your heart, and I'll take you in. I know for some of that, that's too old for you. Google it. I know I'm going to hit old school with it. Google it. You don't got to be a star to be in my show. What God said, you don't got to have it going on. You don't got to have it going on to be in my show. There's only one star in Jesus' show, and they made a play about him. Jesus, the superstar. There's only one star. That's Jesus. All the rest of us are just extras. Oh, God, y'all can't help me. Yeah, you a bishop, but you just an extra. You a pastor, but you just an extra. You a missionary, but you just an extra. Because Jesus is the only star, and he want a whole lot of extras in his show. You don't got to be a star to be in God's show, especially when he got the Midas touch. Anything he touch begins to change. Has he touched anybody's life and he changed you? But let's get a little deeper as I'm getting out of here. Has he touched your problem and your problem changed? Has he touched your situation and your situation changed? Or have you let him touch it? And maybe that's why it's still the way it is. Because it says everything he touched. But if he ain't touching it, how can he change it? The woman with the issue of blood said, if I can just touch the hem of his garments, I'll be made whole. She knew I had to have some contact with Jesus. Have you had any contact with Jesus this week? Or the last contact you had was last Sunday? Oh, God. When's the last time you fell down on your knees and didn't worry about what time it was? You just need to have a talk with Jesus. Here he is with the Midas touch, and he don't got nobody to touch. Here he is with the Midas touch, and you ain't nowhere around. Every time he reaches for you, you keep stepping back. He got the Midas touch, but you won't let him touch you. Because just one touch from the master. One touch. I'm closing. I'm getting out of here. But I heard this story told. There was an auction, and they brought out a very old violin, and they began to auction it off, and somebody said $1, $2, $3. But the old man walked up. They didn't know the old man was a master violin player, but the old man walked up and said, can I have it? And he began to tune it up, and he played it. And it sounds so beautiful. And the auctioneer said, what can I have for it? Somebody said 100, 200, 300. And they would say, hold up. Why is it more now than it was before? And the auctioneer said, well, the master's touch. Anytime a master touches something, it changes the value of what he touched. You were a violin. You were out of tune. You were messed up. You had cloud waves all on you, and nobody wanted you. But the master came, wiped you off, tuned you up, and then he just didn't tune you up. He played you. Anybody been played by Jesus lately? He played you, and all he did was lay you back down. Everybody jumped and said, you worth more now. You ain't been nowhere, but you're worth more now. You ain't done nothing, but you're worth more now. Why? Because the master's touch. Somebody needs a master touch today. Somebody needs the master's touch today. You came because you need the touch from God. You came because you need God to work out your situation. You came because you need something to change. You came because you knew something needed to change, but you didn't know Jesus had the Midas touch. But I'm here to tell you, he's here to touch you today. Somebody needs A touch from Jesus. And he wants to touch you today.